Greetings. I've sat or stood for about 10 or 15 minutes waiting for all the external clone noises to stop. So we don't have all this hideous noise in the background, but it's not to be. So I thought we'd sit in the car. A thought I awoke with today was, if I listened to Dream Universe channel, I would address you as Immortal Beloveds. If I listen to Adrian Elise channel, I may introduce and refer to Supernova Souls. If I'm Danny on Passing by 33 channel, I will be talking to an individual. And you'll find this across various channels. I will refer to Soul Family, and I will say greetings. So what's the point of all this? I'd like you to just sort of imagine a situation, say, I don't know, 1,000 years in the future. And I come across, let's call them Dead Sea memory sticks, and there's recordings of these channels, and who are all these different groups? No different from when we talk about Chaldeans and Babylonians and Mesopotamians and Hyksos pharaohs, those wandering shepherd kings called locusts. So imagine if I had a motive and nobody else knew about this information. So I was saying that these groups like Supernova Souls were some ancient tribe from the past. But of course we're referring across the channels to our same soul family. So if we now put this in the context of going back 1,000 years or several thousand years, you can see how different translations can mean the same things. So do we really know what we're talking about when we're talking about these groups like Babylonians? Because it's all Babel at the end of the day. It's just a little thought I'd share there on how perceptions and things are. Can you imagine if it was say the D-Way computer, and it was held in high regard by a civilization that had no memory of it? And imagine if they started sort of circling it 7 times, where that could lead. Things that make you go, But it's actually an overcast day, complete contrast. It's potentially going to rain, and I just listened to a very strange conversation, 2 people, and yeah, they've had it and they're standing talking to each other, but oh, I'd love to hug you, but I dare not. Oh dear. But I'm saying nothing. People can do what they want, whatever they believe, whatever script they want to take. But I still think the best way is to sort of think for yourselves and make your own mind up on things, on what you think is right and what you think is wrong, and go with gut feeling every time. So just a little short one for today. Fantastic, the channels I've mentioned and what they have talked about, and that silver thread that runs through everything, and also Pippi Onastring's latest Universal Tarot, the I forget even the name that was sort of coined for it. But just listen to that reading, see how it resonates for you, but pay also attention. I thought it was very interesting when Pippi talks about denial, and Romeo the cockerel crows 3 times. Interesting how things repeat, and how this tarot is very much about the New Age, and how it goes beyond the actual reading of itself, and how nature will respond and echo and confirm certain things, and Honey the horse also neighing at specific points. But overall, if I counted right, the cockerel crowed 9 times, the symbol of completion yet again. How beautiful and how wonderful this is across the channels, especially if you can hear nature in the background, and how that interacts with what the channel presenter is saying. So have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. Listen not only to what is being said, listen to what you can hear, and how that fits in with what is being said when it comes from nature especially. There is no stopping what is coming. This is a divine plan. And from a mortal perspective, some of it might seem very cruel, but when you see it from an immortal perspective, it all makes perfect sense. But when it comes down to it, it's what you can do for you. Because as I said on the last video, it's like that whole thing with the oxygen mask on a civil airliner. You put the mask on yourself first and give yourself oxygen, otherwise you are of no benefit to helping other people. And by extension, when we look at this from the immortal perspective, how that then can also be applied when we're on these spiritual paths. And that spiritual path is a narrow one, known only to one. It happens to you individually. Those of you that have already had the birth from above, you know how it feels. You know how difficult it is to even express into these totally inadequate words, but it is still worth doing. It is still worth helping others to try and find the light. That is what you're looking for, the real light. You need to ask yourself, where is the real light? And then you discover it is not external from you. You are the real light. It just depends if you're going to hear the philosopher's tone or the philosopher's stone, or whether you realise the real lies with real eyes, which is singular. But it's real eyes because it is a collective of individuals with singular eyes. Right, I think we'll leave that there and wish you all a beautiful day. And thank you for all the wonderful comments, which I will respond to. Until the next ideas and things just come into the mind, and things I wish to share, because it is intended to be shared. It's not something that the information that I get is not intended just for me. It is intended to be shared in the hope that it helps others. So have a wonderful day, and just stay in your power. It might seem like there is nothing happening, but as always, there is always a lot happening in the unseen. It's whether we have the sensory perception to detect that. And the only way you're going to do that is by listening to your intuition from going within and making informed decisions. Ta-ta for now.